Hello, my beautiful people. Welcome back to my channel. For those that are new, my name is Nelly. I remember some time ago, I was going through so much in life that I was going on these prayers and I wanted God to answer me on a certain issue. It was just taking long and I really wanted God to answer me. At that time, I wasn't even aware why God was taking so long. The whole thing affected my prayer life because I was so exhausted in praying all over the same thing. And believe me, 2 years is a long time to be praying over a certain issue, and all you can just see is God is just quiet. He's not answering. He's not saying wait. He's not saying I will reply you. He's just quiet. And I was getting exhausted because God wasn't telling me to wait, or it's not the right time, or at least answer me. So luckily I had a friend that was very prayerful, and she was always there interceding on my prayers whenever I feel like I'm just tired and whenever I feel like I'm just getting exhausted. She would just carry on and pray. My business was also getting affected, and I thought I needed a change of environment. You know, when God is not answering your prayers, you just begin to wonder why. Why is this happening? You just have so many whys that you need to ask God. I felt like I needed a change of environment, but God had other plans for me, which I wasn't aware of. I met this client through a friend. I had to renovate this apartment for this client who lived in Angola, and I had never met her, and I had to renovate her apartment. At that time, I was just taking small jobs because I was not in a position of taking big jobs. So I was just taking small jobs. The day came when finally I got to meet her. She loved the outcome of the flat that I had renovated for her. She loved everything about it, and I also enjoyed seeing her face. And that also gave me joy just to see the look of how happy she was on seeing the outcome of the apartment. She came with her family. The apartment was huge and she moved in with her children. She had 2 girls which were twins and 2 boys as well. The husband wasn't living with her at that time because he was assigned to be elsewhere, so he couldn't stay with her. Anyway, we became friends. I became the only person that she knew. I also needed somebody to talk to. I would go and visit her, and we became very close. Even though sometimes I wasn't on the right place, but she understood that. I would visit her whenever I needed somebody to talk to. What I did is some of the people that I was close to, I made sure that I removed them in my life, not because I hated them. I just needed space. I just needed space whereby it was just me and God. So sometimes when you feel like you want that space between you and God, there are people whereby you just need to remove yourself. People that might cloud your prayer life. It's very important to choose the people that you want to have in your space, especially when you're going through a moment where you're trying to grow your spiritual life. At that time, I wasn't aware why God was taking so long to answer my prayers. There's so many reasons why God would not answer your prayers, and I've mentioned it in one of my videos, which is linked below, which talks about why God takes long to answer our prayers. At that moment, I was asking God for one thing. When I realized that it was just taking long, I asked Him for a change of environment, a place by where I'll be safe for myself and my children, a place with high security as well, a place where I'll have peace and be able to pray as well. I didn't realize that He had other plans for me. Now, sometimes we get angry with God that He's not answering our prayers, not knowing what other plans that He has for you, which you don't know. Besides, I never knew the mission that God has for me. And I'm sure if He had answered me at that time where I wanted Him to answer me, I wouldn't have been able to do what God had planned for me to do. So sometimes we may be angry with God that He's not answering our prayers at the moment where we want Him to answer our prayers, not knowing what plans He has for us. I had a mission to do, which I didn't know I had a mission to do. What happened is I wasn't aware that God had a mission for me to help a friend. And for me to help this friend, I had to stay in a position whereby he will not answer my prayers. I had to help somebody I just met. God used me to help this person I just met, and guess who it was? My client. You know, when sometimes God does these things, you just wonder. So what happened is suddenly she had to go back to Angola. There was something that urged her to go back to Angola, and the children had just started school. There was nobody else to be with the children. They were in a new environment, and they just needed somebody who's going to be there for them. And the last thing they needed to hear was their mother telling them that she needs to go back home. Having to take them out of school was not an option. And the one problem is she had no relatives and the children were very young. So I became a sister from another mother. For some reason, she probably had trusted me for her to even ask me to stay with the children. When she asked me to become a guardian for her children, I did not hesitate. For her to trust me, even though I didn't know her for long, meant so much to me. And my place was exactly what I had asked God for, even though I didn't know that it would come that way. The place that I was renovating all this time, I didn't know that I would end up staying there. The building was secured and also big enough to also move in with my children. It's exactly what I had asked for. They were going to be safe and I was going to be safe as well. So that was a change of environment that God provided me for that moment. I was able to concentrate to God in a very peaceful environment. I had time to concentrate on my business as well as attend school meetings. Remember, I was now a guardian to these children. Whenever there was something happening in their school, I was there. And also I was able to attend to my children's needs as well. So that worked out for me. I was able to stay with these children for 2 years. She would come and visit them once in a while. The youngest was 8 years. Sometimes you will really miss his parents. I'm sure it was very difficult for them to be staying with a stranger. But I also made sure that I created that bond between myself and these children. Even though they were missing their parents, I needed to step in and become a parent to them as well. At that space which I was in, I didn't even know that I would be able to do that. So God gave me that grace to be able to do that. 2 years went by and I had stopped nagging God. Maybe it's because I was in a comfortable environment as well. But by the time God answered my prayers after 2 years, was exactly the same time when my friend arranged for the children to relocate to Portugal because their husband was assigned to go and work there. I was very happy for them that finally they're going to become one family again. My mission that God had for me was done. And I just realized that the reason why God was not answering my prayers was because he had this mission for me to do. God connected me to her because of the mission that I had to do. As Christians, we are connected to each other. As it says in 1 Corinthians 12 verse 2, we are one body. Sometimes you may not realize that, but God finally answered my prayers. Even though it was after 2 years, but he finally answered my prayers and even gave me more than what I had asked for. His timing is always the best when we choose to listen and obey him. I always ask myself, what if I didn't listen to him? Would he have answered my prayers? Maybe it would have taken longer than 2 years. He knew that the mission that he had for me, I had to complete it for me to be rewarded, which I'm very happy that I listened to him, because today I gained another sister from another mother, a sister that I loved dearly. Sometimes God can connect you with strangers. You need to embrace them because you'll never know why you're meeting them. And I also want to thank God for connecting me with this person. She's a great person, loving and kind, and also God-fearing. She also made an impact in my daughter's career choice. So sometimes when God connects you with strangers, you need to embrace them. When you are praying to God and it's taking long, it's for a reason. So when God says wait, or when God says it's not the right time, it means it's not the right time, because God's timing is always the best. Thank you for watching. If this is content that you like, please don't forget to like and subscribe, and see you on the next video. God bless you.